This is Dani McBamf, and you're listening to the Dani McBamf podcast. Um, I'm a little bit sick right now. Yes, I picked the perfect time to start a podcast. Um, Being sick and ill and all of that good shit. This is just a weekly thing I want to do. Um, talk about random stuff. These podcasts could be from 10 minutes to an hour. But yeah, how's everyone doing? And by the way, it is just me. Uh, if this thing goes better than I expect, then I'll have my friends and family members and other people come on here and join, but right now it's just gonna be me. Good old Danny. Today's topic, the first topic of the show, I want to talk about coming out. I've had to come out 3 times in my life, and it's not easy. YouTuber Connor Fanta, I'm sorry, I'm messing up his name. I don't watch him. I'm an old school YouTube viewer. I watch Shane Dawson, What the Buck, Shay Carl. I watch the big, ones from, 2008. There's a few new people, people that have been out for a few years that I watch. But I'm an original YouTube hipster. Sorry. Apparently he's part of O2L, which I thought was a boy band, but apparently they're just a group of guys that do YouTube videos. And I'm sure I'm gonna get a bunch of comments. Oh, why are you even doing this? You don't even know who you're talking about. I just want to say, I don't care if it's Jimmy from down the street coming out of the closet. I'm proud of anybody who comes out because it's not easy. And people are like, well, all you have to do is just do this, blah, 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 I don't know why, it's 2014. Yeah, it's 2014, and racism is stronger than ever. Transphobia is stronger than ever, and there's a bunch of homophobes still. We're in 2014, we have a black president, yet it feels like it's 1968 all over again. It takes a lot of guts to come out and say, hey, I'm gay. Growing up, I always felt like something was different about me. It took me until I was 23 to realize what it really was, but when I was 15, I'm like, hey, I like girls. I'm not saying that the stereotypes were there, but I didn't dress girly. I remember growing up, I wanted to, play the dad whenever we play house with my friends or whatever. I just never saw myself with a man. And the guys that I did have crushes on in middle school, I now realized I wanted to be like them. It was this weird, not obsession, but this thing where this guy's cool, I would love to be him. I told, friends and stuff, and close friends, because I didn't want people to know. I didn't know how people were going to respond. This is my first year in high school. And finally, this girl I'd known since 5th grade, who was a good friend to me for a while, and I had, a huge crush on her. She went around and told everyone that I was gay, and the whole damn school. So teachers knew. Everybody, people I didn't know. Seniors that I didn't know. And people I didn't know knew. Because she was running around, screaming out that I liked her and all this other stuff. And that story, I would like to do a segment where once a month or so I talk about the women I've been with, or have had crushes on, or whatever hot mess, my love life basically. I would really love to do that because I've got some stories. But yeah, I was terrified. And what's weird, because you see in movies on TV, high schools oh, we're gonna make fun of all the gay kids and blah blah. My high school, no one gave a fuck about anything. Actually, a lot of people weren't surprised. People who I've known since elementary school were like, oh, cool, yeah, we sort of figured it out. But, I got comfortable, and of course I had some friends who were uncomfortable about it, who were uneducated. I had the friends who helped me accept who I was. Even after I came out of the closet when I was 15, I still felt guilty. I felt weird. And then, a few months later, my grandma died, and I'm like, of course, it wouldn't make sense, but I was like, oh my god, my grandma died because I'm gay. No, that wasn't the case. That was just, shit happened. She ended up getting cancer, and, that was rough on me, coming out as gay, losing grandma. Then next year, my sophomore year, I lost my grandpa. Like, it was, so when I was 15, 16 years old, it was just like this heavy burden, and I hadn't come out to my family yet. Like, when I have my friends come over, I'd be like, do not mention me being gay. Like, don't. And, like, I didn't want my friends to come over. I didn't want my family around my friends or whatever, because I didn't want my family to know who I really was. They have, it's just different. I'm the black sheep of my family. I've always been that way. And it's been hard, of course, but, I mean, we sort of understand. They sort of understand me. They respect me, especially after, me getting older. When I was 17, I finally was like, I can't do this anymore. Of course, my mom was snooping through my room and found, like, a note that my friend had left, like, you're my favorite lesbian. And she knew about it and was, like, acting different towards me for, like, weeks. And then we got into a fight, and finally I was like, Mom, I'm gay. I wrote a little pink post-it note. And she acted like, oh my god, really? Oh, I didn't know. And then, like, I found out a few years later, she's like, oh yeah, I knew. So she made me go through all this torture. She's like, well, I just wanted you to tell me yourself. Don't find something out about me and then act like you're surprised. And have me thinking that what I'm doing is something special. It ruined the moment. I'm over it now, but, like, it was just something that rubbed me the wrong way. If you find out, come ask me. But yeah, it was just, my mother and I had a very iffy relationship. Not iffy, but it's been very rough. I was her firstborn child. She found out she was having a girl. It was like pink dresses and mini-me, and, this is gonna be my little girl. I'm gonna watch her get married to a man and have kids, and blah, blah. My mom, when I was born, she had this life set up for me. And as I got older, it was like, hold up, I'm nothing like my mom. I don't like dresses. I don't like this. And it, my mom, I guess you could say she's clingy, and I'm not. And, she had a very close relationship with my grandma. They were best of friends. They did everything together. They talked about everything. Me, I'm not like that. I don't talk about my feelings all the time. I don't like to be up under my mom or be up under anybody. I like to keep to myself. And my mom still struggles with that now. And so me being gay was like, had to adjust. And my dad, we don't talk about me being gay because it's just natural. Like, I'll tell him, oh, I'm going on a date or whatever. He's like, oh, just make sure that bitch is not crazy. We conversate about it. So, I mean, but the only thing that my parents had a problem with was my prom. My prom was the worst. I hated my prom. If I could go through and delete all those pictures, I was so depressed and suicidal in that part of my life. And it's like, oh, it's just prom. That was me. I was finally comfortable with myself. It was my senior year of high school. And for me, that was my moment to just be myself, wear my tuxedo, and be happy. I already told my friends, yeah, I'm going to be wearing a suit. They're like, awesome, yay. And then my parents, I get home, and they're like, no, my daughter's wearing a dress to prom. First I wasn't going to go, and she was like, no, you're going to prom. And I'm like, really? I'm making my parents out as monsters. They're not monsters, they're good people, but it's hard for them to understand me because I'm so different. I'm different from a lot of people. It's hard for a lot of people to understand me, which is why it's hard for me to date. It's hard for me to make friends with certain people. I am my own breed. I am my own person. And, you think, oh, that's really cool. You're unique. No, it's hard. It's like a curse sometimes. Because no one fucking understands you. Especially when you're, 15, 16, 17. It's hard. So, my parents, my mom has a certain style. And she got me this dress that was something of a woman her age. And it had flowers, and it looked like a joke. And I was fucking pissed. I just wore it. It looked ugly. There were tons of pictures. My friends could tell I was uncomfortable. It was literally an uncomfortable night. It was so fucking uncomfortable. My mom was just so happy, and oh my god, my daughter looks beautiful. But really, I wanted to kill myself. I literally wanted to kill myself. I felt so depressed and so down, and then she was like, and I was like, this is the last time I'm wearing a dress. I'm never doing this again. I had a lot of anger towards my parents for that. That part of me. My mom hated that I didn't like to wear girly clothes and do everything. And, finally she came to an understanding, and about 2 years later, she apologized. It was out of nowhere. She, her and my dad both, they were like, listen, I am so sorry about this. We understand who you are, and if we could go back in time, we would never make you do that. And it's like, that meant a lot to me. My parents apologized, and it meant a lot. Because that means they were finally starting to understand who I am a little bit. No one will ever understand who I actually am, because I am so fucking complicated. Been coming out as a lesbian, it's hard, and it wasn't until probably June. It was a few days after my 23rd birthday this year. I was doing research. For years I've been looking into it. But I finally got in touch. Something happened. I woke up and I realized I am a transgendered man. Here I am, 23 years old, just turned 23, finally comfortable. My family's good with me being gay. Of course, they've always been, understanding me. They've always been accepting. I've got support with all my friends. And then now I'm like, I want a sex change. I've never really been a woman. I've never really been a woman. Ever since I cut my hair, and I'm not using that stereotype, but when I cut my hair about 3 years ago, I felt more masculine. I felt more this. And then, I go out in public and people call me sir. People think I'm a man, and I like it. But the part I hate is when I open my mouth and I have this girly voice. And, the clothes, the way I walk, it's just natural to me. Ever since I was a kid. When I was a kid, I thought I was a little boy for a moment. Because there was this fat kid in my class in kindergarten, and I went to a private kindergarten that was the classroom was under a church. I know this sounds sketchy, but it wasn't. I was okay. No one was, violated or anything. It was all legit. But yeah, it was a school under a church, and it was summertime, and all the little boys got to take off their shirts. Oh god, this sounds wrong, but they were allowed to take off their shirts and run around the playground or whatever. I wanted to take mine off because this little boy, this little fat kid, I think his name was Brad or whatever, he had boobs like mine, or moobs. And I thought, hey, this is normal, why can't I take my shirt off? And my teacher freaked out. Oh my god, no, you have to keep your clothes on. I'm like, but why did they get to take their shirts off and run around in the sun? And even now, I have moobs. I don't have boobs. And I wear men's underwear. I'm a man. It's normal. It feels weird when I wear, women's perfume or whatever. I wear Axe. It just comes natural to me. And, I just feel physically male. I'm a guy. I don't think like a woman. I don't like a stereotypical woman. I don't feel comfortable being called female. And that's something the last few months I've gone to therapy a couple times. I've worked through it, and it's something that I want to do. I want to go through this transition. I still haven't told my dad because I don't think he'll understand. But I went on and told my mom. And it's going to break her heart when I go through with this, because she's okay with me being a lesbian. But the fact of me wanting to be a man, that's not accepted. That's not acceptable to her. You know, she wants a daughter, but in reality, this whole time, for 23 years, she hasn't had a daughter. I've been a son. I've been, I never wanted to be a princess. I never wanted to do this. I wanted to be, when I was a kid and I watched Aladdin, I wanted to be fucking Aladdin. I like Mulan because she got to wear guys' clothes. I wanted to be Prince Eric. I didn't want to be fucking Ariel. I felt comfortable. Like, Halloween was my favorite time of the year because I got to dress like a guy in my actual clothes. I get to be who I really was. So when you're under the age of like 12, it's okay, but once you hit middle school, that's when all the, the stereotype goes. All the girls start wearing makeup and blah, blah, blah. And me, I was just like, I would really love to grow a beard. That's all I really wanted in life, is to grow a fucking beard. Like a big burly beard, like Harley from Epic Mealtime, or like a lumberjack beard. That's all I want, is to be able to touch my face, be able to have a deep voice, be able to walk around outside in the sun with my shirt off. I feel like I would be complete. Like, I'm already happy with myself, but I just want to finish the rest of the pieces to the puzzle of me. And, like, I was terrified to tell my friends, because, like, they're going to think I'm a freak, they're going to think I'm weird, and, like, 100% of them said we kind of already knew. Like, this is no surprise. And that's the type of shit that I'm talking about. Like, I love the support that I get from my family and friends. I love it. It's beautiful. Like, yeah, my family and I have had a complicated thing, but at the end of the day, they accept me for who I am. They might not understand it all, but they accept me. And I want to start doing this transition next year, and I'm just going to do it. And if no one wants to be part of my life, then, hey, who's ever on my team is on my team. Who is not, who's not. I don't give a fuck. I was dating a girl earlier this year, and we were hitting it off. She was already slightly crazy. We had a history before, and I'll get to this girl in one of those Love Life Story podcast episodes. But she was, telling me how she really had feelings for me. And finally I came out to her and was like, well, I plan on getting a sex change. Now, I know that being trans in the dating world is hard. I don't expect every girl to be accepting of it. I wasn't expecting her to be accepting of it completely. But the way she came at me, the words that she said, was completely fucked up. She told me, oh, you're joking, right? This is a joke. I only want to be with you as a female. This is just weird. Like, do you, whatever, boo-boo. And stop talking to me. Like, she didn't say, oh, I want to know more. I don't know how I feel about this. But it was basically, bye, bitch, see ya. She was already a bitch anyway. She was already not for me anyway. And her not accepting, or not even trying to ask more questions, or not even, do whatever, because I said, hey, I'm trans, or I'm gonna change. She just said, fuck you, bye. Well, we stopped talking, and a week later, she's like, oh, I want to try dating you, I miss you, blah, blah, blah. She didn't want to bring up the transition. She didn't want to bring up anything. She basically wanted us to date up until I started transitioning, and then she was going to dump me. She wanted to, or just completely ignore the fact that I was transitioning. She didn't want to talk about it. She never wanted to talk about anything. She wanted me as a prop, which like I said, we'll get into that story later. What I'm trying to say is, I want loyal ass people on my team, and that's how it should be for you. If you're going through a transition right now, if you are gay and you're with somebody but you really feel like you're the opposite sex, or that your sex, you feel like you're your sex, and and you tell your significant other what you want to do with your life and they treat you like shit, leave them because they're not for you. You know, there is somebody out there for all of us. I think I've found somebody now. It's going really good, but I want to be for sure. This girl I'm with right now, she's pretty amazing. It's just the beginning. It hasn't really been, it's not serious right now, but I am very happy with her. And I've told her about my transition, plans, and she is supportive. And I don't, like I said, don't expect every girl you get or guy you get with to accept that. Because either A, this is how it's going to work. Either A, they're going to be accepting and be like, okay, when are we going to start this transition? Let's do this together. Or B, I'm not sure, but let's see. Or C, fuck you, you freak, go away. It's going to go either way. Because you do not want to be with somebody who does not support you no matter what. You want to be with a real ride or die person. Don't settle for shit. And that's the moral of any story. You don't settle for shitty friends, don't settle for a shitty job, don't settle for a shitty relationship. Don't settle for a shitty life. I have a lot of going on. At the end of the day, your happiness is all that matters. As long as your happiness isn't hurting anybody, you're good. You have a right to be happy. You have a right to a good life, a healthy relationship with friends, family, boyfriend, girlfriend, anybody. You have a right to everything. Remember that. You are worth it. I don't want people to go through the shit that I've gone through, but at the same time, I'm happy I've gone through the shit I've gone through because I am a happier person now. I am 23, working my ass off, trying to, settle into a new life. I'm gonna go back to school. I'm doing all this other stuff, and I'm happy. Yeah, I'm struggling. There's days where I'm just like put my head in the oven and set my face on fire. But who doesn't have days like that? So just be happy. And if someone cannot respect your happiness, they can go fuck themselves. My name is Dani, and I will see you all next week.